This is Brian Javelin of The Contractor Show. Many of our viewers have been asking us about contractors' efficiencies, contractors embracing technologies, contractors learning how to sell better. Michael Stone of Construction Programs and Results, better known as one of the best-selling authors of Markup and Profit, joining us today to help answer and address some of these questions. Michael, thank you very much for joining our audience today.
More than welcome. Thank you.
Mike, your title, your slogan is bringing contractors beyond their craft and helping them become more of a business person. Can you help further elaborate on what you mean by this?
Well, the large majority of contractors today in the U.S. and Canada think like mechanics. They're still busy fussing and working on jobs and not really paying attention to their business. The biggest reason that construction companies fail is the owners of the company don't stay focused on charging enough for the work they do and a whole litany of other things, but the number of companies that fail in America or in Canada due to production problems on the job, i.e. the mechanical end of the job, is less than 2%. And so our job is, we feel, is to educate the contractors and get them to think like businessmen and women rather than thinking like a mechanic.
Well, your background is rather impressive. You have multiple college degrees from construction management, business management, and even computer science. Do you feel sometimes that education, that extensive education, sometimes might put you out of touch with the average contractor who may not be as educated, even though they're in the construction industry?
No, I think I'm still pretty much tuned in. If somebody were to call me and ask me to grab a tool belt and come help them on a job, I can still do just about anything as far as residential light commercial work. Carried a plumbing license for 14 years. I can wire houses, hang sheetrock. I can do all of that stuff. I think the thing that the college does gives me the fundamentals, the basics of business, and it gives me a pretty good perspective on how the numbers should work in business. And what I try to do is take that information and then blend that with what I know about working on jobs and the mentality of the contractor and the problems they have, and try to get them so it all works together so they can build their jobs but make a good profit doing it.
Eventually, contractors have to start with selling a new job. What type of advice could you give somebody for them when a contractor goes to start the process of selling a job? Where do you begin?
Okay, there's two areas. Both of them, by the way, are well defined in our book, Profitable Sales: A Contractor's Guide. First thing a contractor has to do is keep in mind that the customer always has three fears, and that is, will they do the job I want him to do? Will they do that job on time? And will they do that job at a fair price? And not the cheapest price, the fair price. Okay, so if you keep those things in mind, mold your presentation to always answer those three questions. As a general rule, you eliminate the fears and people will start buying you. And when they buy you, they buy the job. There's four basic questions you ask. What do you want to do? When do you want to do it? Who's going to make the buying decision, and what would they like to invest? And when you get those four questions answered, you will always have a very good shot at obtaining a contract with the folks that you're going to potentially work for.
Okay. When you visit contractors at the office, tell the audience, what is one of the most common inefficiencies that you just bump into as soon as you walk into a contractor's office?
Clearly, 9 out of 10 of them don't charge enough for the work they're doing. They're too busy worrying about being competitive with everybody else around them rather than being focused on being profitable. You have the option of being competitive. Either you are profitable or you're gone. And not charging enough for the work that contractors do will account for over 90% of all business failures in construction. The rest of the business failures, there's two more that cause the majority of failures. One of them is a lack of use or improper use of additional work orders, followed shortly thereafter by the lack of use or improper use of contracts. And between those three things, it will make up about 96 or 97% of all the reasons that contractors fail.
Let's assume that the contractor is doing well. Can you broad stroke to help people understand how do they manage and improve cash flow?
Okay. There's three major reasons that construction companies have cash flow problems. The first one, again, is not charging enough for the work they're doing. And the second one is they have improper payment schedules on their contracts. And the third one is they have too many people working within the company for the volume of work that's being produced. In other words, the total sales being produced. There's too many people working, and they suck money from overhead, and your employees always got to be paid, and so it gets into a vicious circle, and it goes on from there.
Some of this always leads into the embracing of technology, and we all know contractors have been a little slow in embracing some of the technological advancements out there. What do you see taking place from your side of the table?
Well, the biggest issue today as far as technology is a lot of contractors. I think I read here recently that only 70% of all contractors are using computers, And of that 70%, only about 30% of those use a computerized estimating system to develop their estimates. One of the things that we have found is that more and more contractors are losing jobs because they're taking way too long to get back to the customers with their quotes for the work they want to have done, or even having the contractor or proposal put together. 3 to 5 days is just about the maximum you're going to get anymore. On jobs under 100,000, if it's over 100,000, you've probably got maybe a week, maybe 10 days. But after that, you're going to call folks back and they're going to say, I'm sorry, we went with somebody else. Most people have embraced technology in other businesses, and they feel that if they're going to hire somebody, they better be up to speed on computers too. I'll tell you one, there's a lot of guys that don't use email. Oh, I haven't got time to learn that stuff. You hear that all the time. Well, if the people that have the money to purchase remodeling, purchase new homes, or rehab work, repair work on their home, most of them have computers. They use them every day, and if you can't communicate via that computer, you're not going to get the work. And we see this all the time.
So as a suggestion for contractors, immediately they should be, whether they like it or not, they should be looking forward to embracing technology and realizing that they're going to reap a lot of great rewards out there.
Oh, absolutely. You have to do it. I mean, I'm 65 years of age. If I can learn to run one of those television typewriters, anybody can.
Okay.
Especially the kids.
Okay, that's true. Well, this is Michael Stone of Construction Programs and Results joining us. My name is Brian Javelin of The Contractor Show, and you can learn more about Michael's business as well as the books and some other different topics that you promote at markupandprofit.com. Again, that's markupandprofit.com. My name is Brian Javelin of The Contractor Show, and we look forward to seeing you soon.